The next thing Mike wanted to talk about, the inclusion of gay content midway through a TV series or book series after it's been long running.
So
Give us
this
preface on this.
I can't remember, like, when I came up with this topic, there was this particular series that I'd been reading for a while where a gay character it was like book 5 or 6 or something like that, just popped up out of nowhere. And I know what happened. It's because the book series had been going on since probably, I don't know, '07 or something like that.
Mhm.
And then when I was reading, like, suddenly there's a lot of woke content, which I don't have a problem with gay characters.
But they changed the direction.
They changed it changed it felt forced,
Mhm.
right? And anytime it feels forced, anytime it feels like you're shoving it down my throat is when I get
If you have to
anxious
force
about it.
something, it's probably not meant to be.
Right. The series I just talked about earlier, there were gay characters in it. There was a character who didn't identify as anything, and I glossed right over that because guess what?
I don't.
I don't care, and it didn't feel forced, and it just felt like a natural part of the writing.
You do you.
Right.
But keep the direction of
Keep the direction of your story.
like we've talked about this time and time again. I don't care if you have gay characters. I don't. But don't go, oh well, he's gay to be gay.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, can we get some backstory? Not for why he's gay. Okay, cool. He grew up that way. Fine. But don't just go, well, he's 17 and he's gay now. Well, did he have a boyfriend before? Or did
What
he
is the context in the story?
like
You know,
it was like,
Yeah.
congratulations, we know this character's gay now. Can we
Yep.
What does that have to do with the value of the
Yes.
story?
yeah.
So
yeah.
it was very much a jarring experience to be reading the series, and because the series had made it far enough to hit the woke area where, having gay characters
We've
in
passed
everything.
enough time in the real world
Yeah.
that they
So now we have to have a gay character. Have to
So-
have a gay character.
so we're trying to touch on society to get either more views or more likes.
Yeah, it just, I wish they had not tried to do that and they had just stuck to their story,
Or
stuck to their guns.
maybe introduce a new character, a brand new character. And if you, in my opinion, if you want to add someone like that, have a character completely new that we haven't had all this backstory that they were never this way.
Well, and then have that character feel natural,
Yes,
right? Because I mean,
They
I
met
can't-
this. Like
it's just, oh yeah, I'm interested in guys, or like my boyfriend or my husband or whatever, like, introduction you do for that. But if you do it correctly, which I've seen a ton of times,
time and time
in books,
again.
it can feel completely natural.
Yeah,
And I'm not jarred by it. I'm not bothered by it. It just feels like when you're forcing it down my throat that I don't enjoy the content.
I have more of a dislike for it now because you
If
brought
the
it.
show, the book, whatever, has been holding a certain theme for the
Yeah.
entire time, and you're trying to throw this wrench in there, you're like, why?
Perfect.
You know, 'cause
You-
it doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
Especially when it doesn't fit the story at all. If you could fit it into the natural realm of the story, then fine.
Uh,
But
perfect
then
example.
it doesn't feel forced.
It'd be like vices. Everyone has a vice. It
Yeah.
was like out of nowhere. It's like, for example, Rob picked up gaming. Like, oh my gosh, Rob, are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like, hold on. Rob's adamantly talking about games right now.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, one, are you okay as
yeah,
a friend?
no, that's a good question to
And he
ask.
was like, well, yeah, no, I really wanted to get into it because I was spending too much time doing this or this or this, and all my housework's done, and I'm just over here fidgeting,
Mhm.
and I'm tired of buying fidget spinners, fidget
Sure.
tools
Yeah.
to get me through the next YouTube or the next TV
Yeah.
show.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, cool. So you've added a healthy vice that you've limited in time because Mike's brought it up. He was like, oh, I'll do this and then jump to this and then back and forth.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah, I was talking about that earlier today. It's like what most of my day when I'm at home consists of. I spend a chunk of time doing entertainment time.
Mhm.
Then I get up and I do house stuff.
Yep.
Or projects or what have you. And then once I get like burnt out or my knees are hurting or whatever makes me want to stop for a bit, I'll sit down and I'll fucking spend X amount of time, 30 minutes, an hour or whatever.
On-
I think the only time that gets interrupted is when I play games with these two for like 4 hours.
Because
Time
I've
flies.
done everything at home, and
Yeah.
the weekend and the days I have off are my me time.
Yeah.
Because you can ask Aardvark, when I get home, normally the first thing I do is clean up a little bit,
Mhm.
try to maintain the house on top of what my wife's doing.
Yep.
It's like I need the house to be clean because
yeah,
this
yeah.
happened, yesterday?
Yep.
Yesterday, we're in the middle of a game, and I was just like, I'm done. I can't. The house is a mess. I just started cleaning,
And the game was breaking
and the game was breaking.
left and right over the
Uh,
stupidest things.
Universal
So-
sending you a sign.
I got to the point I was like, I just got to clean the house because my daughter won't clean up one thing and play into the next. So we just purged the house real quick, cleaned it.
Yep.
It's there. All this to get back to our main topic. I agree with Mike on this. I hate when we jump halfway through
Yeah.
any series, any TV show, any book series, and you're like, by the way, they've never done. He randomly likes motorcycles now. I was like, well, I like motorcycles, but you've never liked motorcycles. You never talked about motorcycles. You've never dove into this.
Yeah.
You're gay now. Okay, well, there's not been any signs.
Especially when it
No.
has like it doesn't enhance the story at all. It's just like they're throwing it in, and you're like, okay, so what does this have to do with the price of tea in China? And you find out it has nothing to do with anything.
Aardvark,
So-
you had something?
Yes. There was a series I was watching.
Mhm.
Actually, I saw two. Similar premise. One did it pretty well. The other just flunked.
Mm.
One that did it well was Gravity Falls.
TV series or
Yeah.
book?
Yeah,
It is a
Gravity Falls.
TV
I know what
series.
you're talking about. Gravity Falls
Because-
did a great job.
They
It's a
had it
cartoon.
in there,
Okay.
but it wasn't the main driving force. The show never focused on it.
No,
it focused
it-
on the same thing it focused on since the beginning.
It felt completely natural.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, a show that did it poorly was The Owl House. And you see this if you watch through each episode and actually analyze it, you'll see the character is going one way. The TV show is going that same way. The people around the character are going this way. And then that hits a certain episode, and magically everything's flipped on its head. And now the script is, well, the main character has to have a girlfriend. Her friend has to be bi. And her other friend has to be gay.
I will tell you another one that did it poorly. Is Avatar
Korra.
Korra.
Oh,
And I've bitched to you about this one before, and this was very frustrating to me. Is
Well,
because,
Avatar was what got me more into anime than anything else.
yep.
is because I'm watching the series, and this
Yep.
is
The
this
gateway
is
anime.
a sequel to one of my favorite American animated cartoons,
Sure
right?
thing. Yep.
Which was Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yep. I remember watching that with my boys. Yep.
And Avatar Korra comes out, and I was like super into it. I was like, you know what? I'm here for it because they're touching on some good stuff. They're touching on PTSD. They're touching off,
Okay.
recovering mentally from trauma. They're touching on, living up to the expectations of society and your peers and everything else like that.
Coming into adulthood
Coming
with
into
Korra in the
coming
first
into
season.
adulthood,
Ooh,
and
I feel old now.
we get to the last episode at the end of the episode,
Mhm.
and the girl and her best friend
Her love
lean in
piece.
to kiss. This was her best friend, not anywhere implied that it was a love interest, just a best friend.
Yeah.
And then they lean in to kiss, and I'm like,
Oh, don't forget the fact that she was interested in the other two main characters,
yeah,
both
Yeah.
of which are brothers.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that was hinted on and pressed upon the whole time. And magically, two girls
but this
that were
is,
interested in the guys.
this is
now
very
they're
much,
interested
and we've
in each
talked
other.
about this with Harry Potter.
Hmm.
It was like Harry Potter and Hermione should have gotten together.
Yep.
mhm.
And it was like, Ron, what do they have in common?
Nothing.
Like, they don't even have the same red hair. Like,
So I get where the writers are coming from, because the writers wanted Korra to get with the girl the entire time, and the producers for Avatar didn't want there to be any gay stuff included. So they
Yep.
threw this in at the end to be like, haha, we got you. And it's like, great guys, but
No setup. No nothing.
you've been a detriment to the entire story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if I remember correctly, when this came out, it was right at the beginning of the woke.
the woke, everything's DI before DI was
Yeah.
a thing.
So the first season, I'm pretty sure, came out right before it. And then part of the second season, like halfway through, is when the woke really started to pick up its pace. And that's when you started to see it. Because it didn't happen in the first season.
No.
Because the first season was you're dealing with Republic City.
Yeah.
The second season, if I'm remembering correctly, it's either the Earthbender series was the third one. Second one was the Water Tribe.
Second
where
one was the Water Tribe. Third one was the
Giant
the
robot
Earthbender.
battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything else about the series I love.
Oh, absolutely.
But that very last segment of that last episode kind of ruined that entire series.